Okay guys, welcome to the next video. This one is about maps. Now you might have seen this map before. It again is from one of the Cambridge books, Cambridge test books. Now maps are a little bit interesting. Usually there are two maps, sometimes more. Almost always it's at least two maps showing what it was before and what it was after. Almost always just like that. Okay, so this is a fairly good example. The interesting thing about this particular map is your before map is there's basically nothing. Now usually for the original map there are some things and they change. In this one it's almost nothing. So I've had to be a little bit flexible with the way I've written this one. So what's the structure of a map? It's the same as always. It's introduction, then overview. Now you can put your overview at the end, which would be called a conclusion, but that's up to you. Then after your overview you have your body paragraphs. Now you can do 1, 2 or 3 body paragraphs. Now for maps I almost always do 2, but for maps sometimes it might lend itself to 3 body paragraphs. For example, if you had 3 maps, 3 body paragraphs would probably make sense. So keep in mind 1, 2 or 3 body paragraphs. Let's go. Our introduction is to say what they said, again in our own words. If we want to borrow from the image we can as well. So they said the 2 maps below show an island before and after the construction of some tourist facilities. What have we said? We said the map illustrates the way in which a long narrow island was developed for tourism purposes. Long narrow island, that's added, that's taken from the image, that's obviously not taken from what they said. Now the overview of a map, this is a bit tricky. So you've got to decide what is the main feature, what are the main changes that you see. That's all it is. So the difficult part is finding out what the main changes are. Have a look at this one for a minute and decide what you think the main changes are in this map. If you want to keep looking, just pause the video, but I'll tell you what I saw. I saw a very blank original map, or an original island, and then I saw an island with accommodation facilities and entertainment facilities. That's all. So very bare island, nothing on it, then an island that has accommodation and entertainment facilities. It's for tourists. So what is my overview? Well, we can see here. Overall, it can be seen that the island went from an uninhabited state with just a few trees to an island with facilities capable of accommodating and entertaining a significant number of tourists. So the overview there is pretty simple, but there's not much I could find. Okay, it went from nothing to something with accommodation and entertainment. Again, the overview, it depends on the map you're given. That's the tricky part, but it'll be different for every case. So what was the original map and what are the obvious main changes that you can see? Again, use your own judgment for what you think is a main feature. You can't say every little change in your overview. You have to decide what the main changes are or the main trends. Okay, so body paragraphs. I only wrote 1 body paragraph for this one because I didn't have enough to say about the beginning map. Usually I would write 2. I would write the map number 1 as a separate paragraph to map number 2 and show most of the comparison and contrast in map number 2. But in this case there wasn't much to say for number 1, so I put it all together. Let's read it. Initially, or at the beginning, the island contained only a small group of trees and beach on the western edge and a larger group of trees in the east. By the time the island was fully developed, now I have to go through all the things that you see. So state what they are and where they are. A pier had been added in the south. By the way, also note that it's had been added. That's a passive form. So I don't say people or they added a pier. Okay, a pier was added, passive. And that's the idea. Similar to processes in that way. Next sentence. This was connected to a reception area above it by a vehicle track which continued up to a restaurant in the north. Notice again, was connected is passive, and the track continued, that's inactive because nobody's like doing it here. The track continued. I don't want people in my writing here. I just want to sort of state what's happening in the map without people. That's why I'm usually going to be using passive. Alright, to the west of the reception block were 6 huts surrounding the original group of trees, and to the east of the reception block was another accommodation area with each hut connected by a footpath. You can see there. I'm just describing what's on the image. A footpath now led to the original beach, which was designated as a swimming zone for the tourists. Again, was designated is passive. I don't say people designated it. I say it was designated to show passive here. Let's have a look at a few specific things about the language. An important thing to know is how to say where stuff is. So notice we've got had been added in the south. So that's where it is, in the south. Now, if you want to put it in relation to something else, you would say to the south of. In this next one, I've got above it. So you've got words like above, below, beside, next to. Again, I've got in the north, as I said, in the east, in the south. To the west. Notice I didn't say in the west of the reception block, because that would still be in the reception block. I'm saying to the west. So if it's in relation to another place, it's to the west, not in the west. Were 6 huts surrounding the original group. Okay, surrounding, that's a nice expression showing where things are. Again, to the east, prepositions of place. To the north, to the south, in the north, in the south, beside, below, etc. These are words that you should be able to use in maps. So prepositions of place. You also need passive, usually. Okay, don't be saying they built this. Say it was built. Aside from that, that's basically it for maps. Okay, it looks sort of simple, and it usually is, but I have seen maps that are really ugly, and it can get tricky. So just use your common sense, but this is kind of the goal. State what's in the first map, state what changes in the second map using appropriate language, prepositions of place, and passives. Okay, that's basically it for maps, and let's move on to our final Academic Task 1 video, which will be tables, and I'll see you in that one.